Why we love current affairs and are scared of current affairs at the same time is really relative to what current affairs represents and the things that happen in and around our country. People are gaining employment, people are losing employment, people are gaining health, people are losing lives. Petrol is going up, the cost of living is expensive. In some places, there's no drinking water. There's a whole lot happening. Let's try to make some sense of a little bit of it. So, Telkom has succeeded in freezing a pension payout to a former employee it is suing for over 200 million rand. In a civil trial, Telkom alleges Andrew Johannes Jacobs sold information to its competitors. He resigned in October 2012 ahead of an internal disciplinary hearing. Jacobs applied to the Pretoria High Court to have his pension released. He said his family was suffering financially due to an inordinate delay in proceedings against him. Telkom launched a counter application asking for an interim interdict preventing the payout of the pension money until the civil case is concluded. Judge Ronelle Tolme, in her ruling last week, said the facts before the court, it was in the interest of justice to grant the interim interdict in spite of the inordinate delay. It is clear that if the monies are paid to Jacobs, he will, on his own version, try to meet his existing financial obligations, which would in turn leave Telkom with no recourse. Any judgment against him would have no value. The disputed evidence is serious and potentially criminal. As a result, I am of the view that it is in the interest of justice to grant the interdict. So that was the judgment. If Telkom owes you something like 200 million rand, I'm just saying. It's official. The April petrol price is another record breaker. And the per liter cost of fuel increases from 1 minute past the midnight, or 1 second past the midnight, or tomorrow, well, today, in fact. However, the damage could have been much worse if not for government intervention. The ANC's decision to slice R1.50 off the fuel levy has saved petrol consumers from a crippling increase. But despite the act of mercy, diesel users have been stung by a much steeper rise in the costs. The cost of 95 grade petrol goes up by 36 cents, and 93 grade petrol is now 28 cents more expensive. Had the fuel levy remained untouched, this increment would have pushed up the 2 rand per liter mark on the increase. Diesel at a 0.05% grade is soaring by R1.52, and it's even worse for those filling up with the 0.005 grade. That's okay. It's going to skyrocket to about R161.69. Even with the cushion of the fuel tax cut, the diesel prices are eye-watering and would have easily topped the 3 rand per liter mark without the help of the state. Late movement in both oil and foreign exchange markets helped bring the forecast April petrol price down to a slightly more respectable total. The Department of Mineral Resources and Energy confirmed the adjustments on Monday evening, and it's hoped that the fuel situation will come under control soon. The fuel levy reduction is in place until the end of May, meaning that next month's petrol price will also be subsidized by government. As for the April petrol price, so we've worked out an average liter per cost for all grades. 95 petrol inland will now cost you 21.96 a liter. Petrol, which is 93, will cost you 21.63. Diesel, 0.05%, will cost you 21 rand and 1 cent inland, as well as diesel on 0.005 at 21 rand 23. The coastal fuel prices are slightly less, but no easier to absorb. How worried should we be about the shakeup in the world order as a result of the standoff between the West and Russia? ostensibly supported by China, of course, as well. Well, Bruce Whitfield interviews Dr. Kingsley Makubela about concerns that South Africa is not keeping up with the pace of the global change. Makubela says it's not as simple as government deciding who it is supporting in the conflict playing out in Eastern Europe. In the last few weeks, we've been very concerned about whether we condemn Russia or we support the West or the Ukraine while the new financial architecture system is emerging. And it has serious potential threats. We need to start focusing on policies as to how we're going to be meeting it. Makubela says South Africa has to come up with a clear strategy to mitigate the possible fallout. We need to start looking at the underlying issues starting to emerge because of the conflict, he warns, and there doesn't seem to be much preparation to mitigate either current international or national challenges. Now, the public discourse in the country is around supporting either of the parties involved in the conflict, not dealing with the hardcore consequences emerging as a result of the conflict. This is very interesting and something worth following up. In the legal fraternity, on Tuesday, the Judicial Commission began interviewing candidates for 2 vacant Constitutional Court vacancies. Interviews on Tuesday for 2 vacancies at the Constitutional Court were smooth sailing for 4 of the candidates. The expectation was Judge David Unterholter was grilled about not recusing himself in a matter. When asked whether a judge who sits in an application for leave to appeal for dismissal dismisses it should recuse himself, or when the case comes to the Constitutional Court, Unterhalter agreed. Now, Commissioner Mvuzo Nokesi then asked why Unterhalter had not done so when it came to the case he dismissed at the Supreme Court of Appeal, which was later taken to the Constitutional Court. Unterhalter said he wasn't sure of the fact, but that once he was able to ascertain them, he would happily respond. Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, the chairperson of the Judicial Services Commission, pointed out to the commission that Unterhalter had not been told this matter would be raised in the interview. But Commissioner Julius Malema, who attended the interviews virtually, hit back and said that he had told the commission about it on Monday. As to why Unterhalter wasn't informed about this, Zondo noted, because the complaint came late, we said it wouldn't be put into the candidate. And the general rule is that if it comes late, it shouldn't be accepted unless it falls into the exception category. Generally speaking, I don't think a judge would intentionally sit in a matter that they know they shouldn't sit on. That's what Zondo said. The commission then decided to adjourn for 30 minutes to allow Unterhalter to access a laptop and allow him to answer the question posed by Nokesi. Unterhalter said an application was then brought before the Constitutional Court by disappointed candidates. I can only say that it was an error. I did not recall I sat on a petition. Commissioners will know that many of these petitions come and one sits in them in the many numbers, said Unterhalter. However, Malema wasn't pleased with Unterhalter's response. He said, you said your participation didn't impact the outcome, but that doesn't matter because not recusing yourself doesn't help to improve the appearance of the court. Ouch. So what's going on? It seems Murder Bongs may have some stiff competition if he is to keep his girlfriend and baby mama DJ Zinhle. This is after the intro for DJ was seen blushing while a man kissed her on her hand during a gig. The 2 lovebirds, Bongani Mohosana and Ntombi Zinhle Giane, are one of Mzansi's favorite celebrity couples. Together, they have a beautiful baby girl whose name is Asante Mohosana. The Era by DJ Zinhle founder also shares a 6-year-old cutie, Cairo Forbes, with rapper AKA, whom they are happily co-parenting. But now it seems a fan wants to break up a happy home, and the Black Motion DJ is having none of it. DJ Zinhle took to her Instagram to share a picture of her fan kissing her hand as she did her thing on the decks during a gig. In the video, Zinhle appears to be blushing like a girl who has just had her heart snatched. Tagging her boyfriend, Her Majesty Boss Lady wrote, "Murder Bongs, please come home." After seeing the pic, Asante's father was green with envy and hilariously replied like a man who's about to lose his love of his life. Picture him with his hand on his head and a surprised look on his face. Oh my God, what's going on? Metabong's response garnered a lot of comments from fans who told him to quickly come here or else he would lose his girl. The Black Motion DJ was actually all the way in Lisbon, Portugal, when a fan tried to steal his bae from him. In an Instagram post, he thanked the tribute of Afro House festivities attendees for an amazing night, to which Zintle replied with a sweet message, "There's no one like you, baby. I'm so proud of you." So here's what happens to the rest of the royals when Prince Charles ascends the throne. For nearly 70 years, Queen Elizabeth II has reigned as the monarch of the United Kingdom. She might not be going anywhere for now, but there will be a time when the throne has to go to someone else. It should go to her firstborn son, Charles, but where does this leave William and Catherine, Duke and Duchess of Cambridge? We'll tell you about that a little bit later on in the program. Nkosinathi Maphumulo, also known as Black Coffee. Black Coffee's Grammy win is the talk of the town as South Africans and music lovers beam with pride over his achievement. The popular DJ recently bagged his first Grammy award at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas. Since his big win, social media has been filled with congratulatory messages from his friends, industry mates, fans, and family. Even his ex-wife, Enhle Mbali Mlotshwa, has taken to social media and penned a congratulatory message for the Grammy Award-winning artist. Enhle posted a throwback picture of Black Coffee and their two sons, Asante and Anesu, at the aquarium. "Congratulations to my little dudes, dude. We're all incredibly proud." In her caption, Enhle called the father of her children "my little dude's dude," and they said they were incredibly proud. She has previously spoken about traveling the world with a renowned producer and having to put her career aside and build their home. The former couple had gained reputation for airing their dirty laundry on social media. However, there seems to be sort of a truce when it comes to the children, as this is not the first in recent months that Enhle has posted something positive about Black Coffee after a trip to the racecourse. "This award is dedicated to my kids who have put up with me being on the road working on this music. I love you. Thank you for your unwavering and unconditional love. You anchor me," he wrote on social media. Oh, I love it, man. I love it. And finally, further afield in this beautiful but troubled continent of Africa, the ICC chief prosecutor Karim Khan says the presser in The Hague that he wants to close the situation in Darfur, when asked whether former South Sudan President Omar al-Bashir would likely be soon in court. A former Sudanese military or militia chief oversaw murder, rape, and torture across Darfur. The International Criminal Court heard on Tuesday as this trial for war crimes in the region got underway. Now, Ali Mohammed Ali Abd al-Rahman, an ally of the deposed Sudanese strongman Omar al-Bashir, faced 31 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity for his role in the conflict almost 20 years ago. His trial is the first before the Hague Court-based ICC for crimes in Darfur, in which 300,000 people were killed and 2.5 million fled their homes, according to the UN figures. It comes as the world's eyes turn to the possible war crimes committed in the Ukraine. Wearing a dark blue suit, a light blue shirt, and fiddling with his maroon tie, Abd al-Rahman sat motionless as 31 counts of war crimes, crimes against humanity, and alleged committed crimes in 2003 and 2004 were read to him. Still languishing in refugee camps today, victims of the Darfur conflict said they were relieved that justice was finally being done. But Adam Musa, speaking from a sprawling Kalmar refugee camp in Darfur, said, "I was surprised to hear that Kushaib denied the charges of killing our people. I have seen him take away men from our village and none of them came back," Musa said. Ouch.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what all the from the states of Africa, we've got you covered.